A Ferrari stood helpless on the side of the sunlit road, its red paint glowing uselessly under the open sky, while the millionaire who owned it stared at the smoke rising from the hood with a hollow ache he had not felt in years. He had conquered boardrooms, crushed competitors, and signed deals worth millions before noon, yet in that quiet daytime moment, stranded and alone, he felt smaller than the road dust clinging to his polished shoes. That was when a tiny voice, barely louder than the breeze, drifted toward him, full of certainty and innocence, carrying words that would slowly unravel everything he thought he knew about success and strength. Before the story continues, if you believe kindness deserves second chances and that even the most broken moments can become miracles, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Light of Kindness. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. The millionaire's name was Adrian Vale, a man whose face appeared in business magazines, always serious, always distant. He was known for his sharp mind and even sharper tongue, a man who believed problems existed only to be crushed with money and authority. That belief had followed him onto this quiet suburban road on a bright afternoon when his Ferrari suddenly failed him, engine coughing like a wounded animal before giving up completely. His phone had no signal, his driver was hours away, and for the first time in decades, Adrian had nowhere to be and no one to command. The silence around him felt louder than any boardroom argument he had ever won. As he leaned against the car, loosening his tie under the warm sun, he noticed a small figure standing a few steps away. The little girl couldn't have been more than 6 or 7, wearing a faded yellow dress and worn-out sandals, her hair tied back with a ribbon that had clearly seen better days. She held a loaf of bread under one arm and watched him with wide, thoughtful eyes. There was no fear in her gaze, only curiosity and something deeper, something gentle. She spoke softly, almost as if sharing a secret with the air itself, explaining that her father could fix almost anything. Cars, radios, broken chairs, even broken hopes, she seemed to imply without knowing it. Adrian drove away slowly, the daytime sky stretching endlessly above him, but something inside him refused to move on so easily. Over the following weeks, thoughts of that little workshop and the quiet strength within it followed him into meetings and sleepless nights. Deals felt emptier. Victories felt hollow. He found himself questioning the life he had built on speed and control, a life that broke down just as easily as his Ferrari had. One afternoon, unable to ignore the pull any longer, Adrian returned. This time he didn't come with a problem to fix, but with an idea that had grown from guilt into purpose. He proposed funding a proper garage for Kareem, offering tools, training programs, and jobs for young people who had talent but no opportunities, not as charity, but as partnership. Kareem hesitated, pride wrestling with practicality, until Mira looked up at her father with the same certainty she had shown Adrian that first day. The garage became a place of transformation. Young men and women learned skills, confidence, and dignity. Cars rolled in broken and rolled out renewed, much like the people who worked there. Adrian visited often, shedding his expensive suits for simple shirts, learning to listen instead of command. He discovered that fulfillment did not come from dominating markets but from lifting lives. Time passed, and the story of the millionaire who learned humility from a child spread quietly, without headlines. Adrian's business decisions changed. He invested in people, not just profits. He laughed more, slept better, and felt something close to peace. The Ferrari remained, but it no longer defined him. Years later, on another bright day, Adrian watched Mira graduate from school, her dreams now stretching far beyond that narrow lane. She ran toward him afterward, proud and radiant, reminding him without words that the smallest voices often carry the greatest truths. If this story touched your heart even a little, please take a moment to like, share, and engage with this video. Your support helps keep stories of hope and humanity alive. Before the ending, we have a special request for you. Comment the word kindness if you believe one small act can change a life forever. As the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the once humble garage, Adrian understood that his greatest breakdown had led to his most meaningful repair. Not of a car, but of a soul that finally remembered how to feel, how to give, and how to believe again.